Hi, and welcome back to the Glittering Library. I know it's been a little while since y'all have seen me, but I was going to do my mid-year flip through of this very, very chunky book. This is a B5 notebook that I got from Burning Clove, which is a local to me, veteran-owned, female-owned business in Orange Park, Florida. And in 6 months, I have already completely filled this thing. So we're going to do a flip through. I'm going to show you everything I've done so far this year. And then I'll show you everything I've done so far this year. And then may show you my other notebook that we're going to be headed into for July forward. So I did a travel theme this year, where I made up my own little boarding pass and my own little labels of things, and decided that this year, every month, we're going to go on a different adventure somewhere. So this was Flight 2025. All of my anticipated releases so far for the year. And at this point, I have already gone into July a little bit, but the different colors were the different months. I saw that idea on a few others' YouTube pages, so I decided to take that as an idea this year. But instead of doing squares, I did diamonds. Thought it'd be something a little different. This was my bookshelf. I used wood grain washi tape that I found at Hobby Lobby. Drew my own little couch and lights and a little ladder. Something I've always wanted in a bookshelf. The orange are audiobooks, purple are digital books, the blue would be books that I got in 2024, green are ARC reads for 2025, pink are physical copies of books. You'll see some of them have these like glittery borders around some of the book titles. That's part of our adventure for the year. So those were my books of the month, just to kind of differentiate them a little bit. That I have already added on another set of the bookshelf. Then the A to Z challenge was something I decided to do this year. I only have 2 spots left, as you can tell. And then I also did the Reading Around the World challenge. That's kind of what the adventures were. We're taking books from different countries to kind of add to my Reading Around the World list. That, if you can't see it real well, purple were ones that I had already read, books from authors from those countries, and then the green are the ones so far this year. These are the art teams that I have been a part of so far this year. I am still trying to play catch up on a lot of them, so I do apologize if I have not read your book yet. Notable favorites. I don't just do a favorite of the month or a top book of the month because of how many I go through. I have a notable favorites. These are just ones that I have really enjoyed so far this year. This would be the whole first half. Then going into the magical readathon of the adventures in Eldia. That's our little pathway this year that G from Book Roast did it a little different, so you can kind of see my path on the sparkly part. And then these are the books that I have read for those prompts. That's where all of my end of the year stats will go. And books that I've read so far this year, I love the idea of the book covers, but I did it something a little different so that they kind of go along with the travel theme, that they're stamps. I've made my little borders, printed them out on my Cricut, and they are stamps. And then each of the ones for our monthly adventures have the little silver kind of outline around the books. I was using my HP Sprocket to print out all of the book covers, and I got to a point of I was going through so much paper that I have gone back to just printing it on sticker paper. Some of these you'll see aren't as shiny. If they are, I had already printed the cover. So that's where we are so far this year. I have a couple more pages left. Then we are going to go into our monthly spreads. January, I absolutely adore sparkles. So January, I had to go full force with embellishments and sparkles. These are rhinestone little embellishments. I think they're supposed to be for clothes. January, we went to Iceland. So wound up doing 31 books. Those are my list. Had 2 favorites for the month. This was our Iceland read. If y'all want to pause and read any of the reviews, you're more than welcome to. I'm just going to kind of flip through everything. January, we read a lot of Charlaine Harris and the Sookie Stackhouse series, or listened to most of the series. So February, we went to the number 1 place on my bucket list of Paris, France. Wound up reading 20 books. This was our monthly adventure. The way I was kind of doing it here is if I really enjoyed the book, I got a full page spread. Everybody else was getting about a half page. March, I did a dual adventure of New Orleans for Mardi Gras and Ireland. We wound up reading 24 books in total. I really love all of my little Mardi Gras-esque embellishments on this one. So I did 2 different books. One for New Orleans and then one for Ireland. April went to one of the places I've spent a whole lot of time in as a travel ultrasound tech of Nantucket. Wound up reading 22 books, and I do have videos to all of my setups if you'd like to go back and see any of those where I talk more about them and the different pictures and things that are involved. Nantucket has a lot of my own personal pictures because I spent close to 2 years there, off and on over 3 different contracts. So I have a lot to work with from up there. We also did the spring equinox challenge of the Orilium Academy. That I got all the books I was supposed to. We got a few extra things, dragon riding license, a impling sitter card, and an apothecary keeper. I've done a lot of audio books, memoirs this year, which I've really enjoyed. I didn't think that I'd like as many of those as I did, but so far they're all very good, the ones that I've picked up. May, we went to Scotland. 26 books for the month. Had a whole lot of favorites this month. A lot of really good books. Scotland, I wound up doing 2 by the same author. They weren't really my favorites. And I also did the Goober Readathon with Joshi Corinne and her crew. This was hilarious. I loved all of the different themes. It was a plant-based theme, from what I understand, this year. I really enjoyed it, so I will definitely be participating in that again. So I got kind of to this point, as you can kind of tell, that I went from half pages to full pages to now we're in quarter pages. I knew I had this much left in the book, and this was only May, and I still had to do June. So I started cutting it down unless it was like this, that I loved the book. And then for June, the last one in this book, we went to London. So I had to have my pixie dust going around Big Ben, leading to the second star on the right. Wound up doing 21 books in June. But I like these little flip through lists that I've decided to make. They make it a whole lot easier to keep up with all of my lists, and I'm not having to do the tip ends that go outward and cover the lists. I originally was going to read Atonement, but I got partway through it in an audiobook and I couldn't pay attention. So I went with The Twisted Sisters of Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti and had to read Neverkeep since I had not picked it up yet. So I will eventually get back to Atonement, but not right now. So I kind of kept up the quarter pages, and then if I really enjoyed it, then it was a half page because I was trying to save space. And then I realized I had more space, so I started spreading them out a little bit more so that I could write a little bit more about them. Who does not love L.J. Andrews? Pick that book up. Well, this one too. The Third Gilmore Girl. Kelly Bishop, I did not realize as much about her that she had done. I adored this book. I need to have it just so that I can have the quotes from it. So those were all of the books in June, and I still had a couple pages left. So I did a mid-year stats. So this is where we are at the moment, or as of the end of June, that I had read 144 books. I had set my goal at 190 because that's kind of where I was last year. I've already hit 76%. That's a lot. Those are pages, broke it down into hours and pages, my average rating. These are the top authors that I have read so far this year, and then my genres. That is the end of this very large, very pretty B5 notebook. And then for the rest of the year, at least what I'm going to try to do is I have this A5, and we're gonna see how far I get in it. I will have a different video of my July setup and what I'm planning on doing for July. I have a new job that I'm starting in 3 weeks, less than 3 weeks. The very beginning of August. I have a brand new job I'm starting. So if I don't have things up on time, or they're just the short flip throughs, I do apologize if y'all were looking for more, but right now that's probably as much as I'm going to be able to do with a brand new job. So I hope you'll stick around, see, can I make this last an entire year or 6 months? Will it look like this? I don't know. What are we going to do? But I will see you in the next video. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend. See you soon. Bye.